All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. Today we're exploring a truly fascinating intersection. We're taking the ancient, meticulous science of Islamic jurisprudence, specifically from the Medina school, drawing on the Salsabil project, and we're going to look at it through the lens of modern systems engineering. Guiding us through this journey today are Selim, our voice of pure reason, and Jasas, a neon-shaded camel. Together, they're going to help us decode the ultimate spiritual security protocol of the human vessel. I'm talking, of course, about Sawm, the fast.
Picture this, an 8th century Medina, totally transformed into a brilliant biopunk digital cosmos. You've got the majestic glow of the Kaaba and these vibrant neon green domes illuminating cosmic laws. What this aesthetic really drives home is that the rules of fiqh aren't just dusty ancient texts. They are a highly advanced, brilliantly structured algorithmic matrix. Everything has an exact place. Every single input and output is meticulously calculated. So when we study the jurisprudence of fasting, we're actually studying a definitive, master-level diagnostic manual for our own human hardware and software.
Here is our system diagnostics menu for today. We're looking at 1. The protected core, 2. Natural portals, 3. Non-natural ports, 4. Exit breaches, and 5. Recovery protocols. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The protected core.
So, Sawm, fasting. It really isn't just about skipping lunch, right? In the classical texts, it's actually described as a haidama, a sacred shield. Think of it as an active, highly engineered firewall that's designed to preserve the jawf. The jawf is your interior core. This shield blocks unauthorized physical inputs and outputs. But here's the kicker. This firewall doesn't just automatically boot up. It has to be initiated by the niyyah, the intention. You can think of the niyyah as your spiritual startup code. Without consciously executing that code before dawn, the Sawm protocol simply will not run, literally no matter how long you go without eating. According to the foundational texts, maintaining the perfect equilibrium of our biological vessel relies entirely on regulating 3 distinct physical pillars: blood, semen, and food. The entire architecture of the Sawm protocol is built specifically around managing these 3 pillars to elevate the spiritual soul. If you lose control of these, the whole system destabilizes.
Section 2. Natural portals.
Okay, so let's map out the hardware. The human vessel basically has 7 natural orbiting portals. Up top, we have 4 in the head: the eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. Down below, we have 3 in the abdomen: the anus, urethra, and vagina. Now, according to the Medina school, the mouth is naturally the primary authorized port for sustenance. But remember, during Sawm, that firewall is up. Total lockdown. Any substance, whether that's food, water, or even certain medicinal drops, that successfully navigates through any of these 7 natural portals and reaches the core jawf will trigger a critical error. It completely crashes the Sawm protocol.
Section 3. Non-natural ports. But what happens when modern medicine bypasses our biology entirely? Well, the jurisprudence gets incredibly precise here. Let's process these artificial lines. First, surgeries, which are known in classical texts as jawafa. These are deep wounds or surgical incisions that breach directly into the body's core. Second, IV needles. Even though you aren't eating, an IV acts as a direct data line, pumping nourishment and hydration straight into your bloodstream. And third, nicotine patches. These just sit on the skin, using surface absorption to totally bypass traditional ports and feed a physical craving. Because these artificial lines deliver sustenance or deeply penetrate the core, using them while your shield is active is going to trigger a system failure. You've essentially opened a backdoor into the jawf.
Section 4. Exit breaches.
Now, there's a really crucial distinction to make between input breaches, those unauthorized uploads like the food and IVs we just covered, and output breaches. Remember those 3 physical pillars from earlier? Blood, semen, and food? Deliberately draining the system of those core pillars, whether through intentional vomiting, deliberate blood loss like cupping, or the intentional release of semen, is just as fatal to your Sawm protocol as sitting down and eating a heavy meal. You are actively crashing the physical equilibrium that the fast is designed to protect. I absolutely love this distinction because it reveals such a profound mercy in the system's design. There is a massive, fundamental difference between an intentional hack and a simple system glitch. If a breach overpowers you completely unintentionally, let's say you get a sudden random nosebleed, or a sickness forces you to vomit against your will, the system registers that as a bypassed glitch. You didn't initiate it. Because of that, your Sawm protocol remains fully intact and running. It is only the deliberate actions, that intentional overriding of the system, that actually breaks the fast. Section 5. Recovery protocols. So,
What actually happens if an intentional input or output breach does occur? If you deliberately hack the system, you don't just get to walk away. You're required to perform a qada, which is essentially a system restore. You have to make up that exact day later on. But depending on the severity, you might also be hit with a kafara, a strict system fine. That's a heavy penalty, like fasting for 2 consecutive months, just to compensate for deliberately hacking that sacred shield. The same principle applies to a broken niyyah. If your spiritual startup code fails, the day is void. But again, for an unintentional glitch, no restore and no fine are required. The system entirely forgives the error.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Mastering this whole biopunk matrix of Sawm, meticulously guarding your physical pillars, constantly monitoring your natural and non-natural portals, and keeping that spiritual code running, it isn't just about physical discipline. It is literally the gateway to ultimate spiritual consciousness. If you can achieve this level of mastery over your physical vessel, what ultimate spiritual algorithms of Allah's design might you unlock next? Thank you so much for exploring this system with me today. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.